Absolutely no member of any branch of the military or any secret agency ever signed up to take a bullet for your right to stab us all in the back. I want you to picture Neil Armstrong up there hopping around on the moon. That's one small step for man, a giant leap for raping little boys and calling them liars until they shoot up a school. You faggots are out of control. I don't care if you are Chicago PD. I've never been to Chicago, so that rules it, narrows it down. Jurisdiction counts for something. Right? You have authority because absolutely nobody letting homos rape little boys and call them liars till they shoot up a school has authority. Part of your authority is jurisdiction, right? That is, if you have authority. Because if it's the other side of Chicago, how come Atlantic City has a bunch of Canadians acting like they're made, don't even speak the lingo? First, do no harm or you're not a doctor in any religion. So that's going to be a weak link in the chain. Like, old country, what planet? Because Luigi Mangione is a national hero and a champion of Christ. We've got people with no idea, like they cannot be relied upon to see to their own best interest, deciding whether or not we're allowed to talk to each other. It has to be the president or this kid we raped. I am the one who was in the army that helps. The guys pretending to negotiate while they raped 84,000 Boy Scouts are also pretending they have some kind of moral obligation, like they can just ask a loaded question. If they get the wrong answer, it proves that they have a reason to cast stones. Oh, he's a liar. Fuck this guy. But I swear I've never sold cocaine. So the DMX died in 2021. I can help with that. You can't just have a bunch of faggots calling Catholics liars. It's not going to work. The Lord will not bless two men with new life ex nihilo. So in the global grand scheme of high finance, they're not at the table, okay? The Supreme Court of the United States is not compelled by Jesus to let faggots follow their own rape victims around until they shoot up a school so they don't get in trouble. Roe v. Wade canceled the Hippocratic Oath. First, I shall do no harm. But first, do no harm, you're not a doctor. It's the definition. You're not a doctor here. You're not a doctor there. You're not a doctor anywhere. We accidentally raped a 6-year-old. Now we need to cover it up. Okay. Oh, don't tell me that conversation didn't happen, because one must ascend Olympus before any act of war. Thin blue line. LAPD's like, not on your life. They scapegoat their own rape victims for crimes against the state. High crimes against humanity. They were negotiating Wells Fargo after they absorbed Wachovia in language unrecognized for purpose of legally binding international mergers and acquisitions. What's the exit strategy on that? Nigeria changed their legal age for marriage from 11 years old to 18 last year. So the past 60 years of population control has just been for us. The last king of Scotland has been culling our grade schoolers with a gay revolution since mitochondrial Eve made it so you're either a dumb Christian or not Christian enough for protection from our new owners. So they're the ones that don't have separation of church and state. You get it? They're raping little boys in surgery and putting cameras everywhere and monitoring you in your homes based on the moral impetus of investigating violent crimes against small children. Why don't they put the camera in the operating room? Because it's not a religion, it's a racket. We don't need the mafia necessarily. It'd be better with something like this. Getting rid of them is what invited this abomination. From a diplomatic perspective, not all of these other countries need to exist, okay, Gandhi? We can afford it. Among circles of thought on the subject, scholars agree that stupidity causes evil. I mean, desperation, greed, guilt. Stupid people scare easy. Scared people do stupid things. It's a vicious cycle. But letting the last king of Scotland eat our grade schoolers in the internationally protected sanctuary of our public schools for the past 60 years. Like, if we don't profess that the world is 5,000 years old and dinosaur bones are a plot by Satan to make you gay, we're going to prison. Jesus didn't personally write any of the Bible, kids. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Luke was a doctor. The Apostle St. Luke had a diploma from the Library of Alexandria. First, thou shalt do no harm. It's not blasphemy. It's allowed. So the heathen got Reagan and John Paul II both shot so they could flood our streets with dope and force the Christians to fight our way out with nothing but snake oil and rainbows, because mitochondrial Eve proves we're liars. Our whole religion is wrong. We have no right to dominion over the earth and its people. But that's the game. That's the level. Like, they didn't say it to our faces, obviously, but mitochondrial Eve was from East Africa. Therefore, black people own humanity. Now, who other than black people and the Nazis would go along with that? The Nazis like it because they can bamboozle the rightful owners and chase them around. I think, the solution for Europe would be that the Teutonic Knights want to join the Templars, because the Catholic Church is correct. Like, cults have a right to the land where they are. Cults establish filial ties to the land and its people through ceremonial burial. That's, who needs a priest without that? Romans said their gods were bigger than ours, and some of us disagreed. And none of them are left. So none of the Druids who disagreed survived. Sweden enjoys indoor plumbing. They like roads. They have police, laws even. Well, in the free world, we prosecute violent crimes against small children, or we gotta line you up on your knees and shoot you on TV. Full faith and credit, it's the law. If you are a reliable person, it is not within the scope of human authority to ban waterboarding without a formal declaration of war. Exodus 32:20, grab a fireman in case they get a little too much to drink. But you're not just gonna cripple European and American defense so these particular faggots get to stay in charge of losing a holy war to humanity's closest natural enemy. Oh, this is just a phase of our technological plan, etc., but the 60 years of population control for white people while Nigeria tried to outbreed us, they were going to do the whole thing. Poindexter. I said the Nazis had been planning 9/11 for 80 years at the time, which is about the time of Marxism, and Saudi Arabia was founded 6 years after the fall of the Ottoman Empire. So I stand by that. It's already, you're not allowed to be Italian or Irish. Now the Germans are like, oh, fuck. Well, I had no idea the guys pretending to negotiate while they raped 84,000 Boy Scouts were pretending to negotiate with yours truly. My apologies. Like, it's genocide. Prosecute or get shot. It's all about the ratings. Greatest halftime show in Super Bowl history. This halftime special is brought to you by Dr. Noel D. Smith, Practical Comparative Theologies, featuring NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. Deus Volt. Follow me, Germans.